The 2022 wrestling season will be one that we will not soon forget. There's been a lot of surprises and ups and downs. That's where the first award we're giving out tonight is the most shocking news headline of the season. From Nick Suriano transferring into Michigan at the beginning of the year to Spencer Lee not being able to finish out the season and Penn State claiming 5 national titles at the end of the year. But the most shocking headline had to be AJ Ferrari getting in a car accident. This was news that shocked us all, just like this recent tweet. Come on, AJ. If you want to see who won Rookie of the Year, Pin of the Year, and Team Duel of the Year, let's stop stalling and start talking wrestling. Welcome, wrestling fans, young and old. My name's Josiah, and these are the Fanco Wrestling Awards, the wrestling award show voted on by you, by college wrestling fans. As is the tradition, I don't necessarily agree with all of the winners here, and you may not either. That's why you gotta leave a comment below with the awards you agree and disagree on. Let's move on to Rookie of the Year. This is a category more important than ever this year in a field filled with 7th-year seniors. Over 40% of the NCAA field was made up of these older classmen. This award is given out to freshmen who haven't competed in the NCAA championships yet. Although Keegan O'Toole and Colton Schultz are considered freshmen, they competed last year as well. Now, Julian Ramirez, Anthony Noto, and Carson Hartzler had phenomenal seasons and ended out the year pretty strong. But the wrestler who wins this award is Dean Hamady of Wisconsin. He had only 1 loss going into NCAAs, 17 straight wins as a true freshman, and he won the Illinois Matmen Open. I'm looking forward to a bright future from him. And sure, you could call that a breakthrough year, but the breakthrough wrestler of the year was given out to somebody else. This came down to 3 wrestlers: Gavin Hoffman of Ohio State, Bryce Andonian of Virginia Tech, and Keyshawn Clark of North Carolina. With over 60% of the vote, Keyshawn Clark earned this award, and it's not really a big surprise. He went 0-2 at the ACC tournament, earned an at-large bid to make the Nationals, and ended up making the National Finals with upsets over Jaden Ironman, Jake Berglund, and Cole Matthews. While he didn't win the tournament, he still had one heck of a year and definitely made a name for himself. And his early round upset over Jaden Ironman actually took 2nd place in this next category, Upset of the Year. What was your favorite upset to watch? The winning match in this category did happen at Nationals, and it may not surprise you that it was number 17, Hunter Willits, over number 1, David Carr. After a crazy upset that nobody saw coming, this is what Willits had to say in his interview.
You gotta kind of pinch yourself, see if this is real, and then realize, finally my hard work is paying off. And it's the only thing I could hope for.
While we're rolling with big matches, let's talk Pin of the Year. Receiving more write-in votes than any other category in history was this one this year. When Austin Gomez pinned Ridge Lovett in the Big Ten semifinals, it shocked everybody. Not because it was an upset, but just because it happened so darn fast. But that's actually not the Pin of the Year. So your mind might go next to Bryce Andonian pinning Austin Gomez. And no, that's not it, but it did happen at this weight. It was Ridge Lovett pinning Tariq Wilson at NCAAs. Ridge pinned the number 2 seed in the 2nd period. He took Tariq over to his back once, went back over, then took him over again, this time sealing the deal. Of course, Ridge celebrated with his famous heart hands and moved on to the next round. What a crazy weight at 149 this year. And this year's match of the year didn't end in a pin, but let's look at the nominees. Colton Schultz versus Jordan Wood in the NCAA semis was a fun one that came down to the wire with pure man strength. RBY and DeSanto gave us a fun rivalry all year long. Though DeSanto couldn't get the better of RBY, it still made for some fun matches. My personal favorite was Bryce Andonian versus Austin Gomez, but the winner for match of the year is Carter Sirachi versus Mekhi Lewis in the NCAA finals. This match lived up to the excitement, was one of my favorite matches to watch all year, and earned the match of the year. It went to overtime after each of these guys got a takedown and a couple of escapes in the regular period. In overtime, it went to the ride out when Sirachi earned more riding time than Mekhi and earned the victory. The best part is this is a match we're going to see for years to come. And we almost got it earlier in the season at the Collegiate Wrestling Duels. Now, one duel that did happen at the Collegiate Wrestling Duels was NC State versus Iowa, which was one of my most favorite matches to watch this year. And even though I went back to State College to see Penn State versus Ohio State and Penn State versus Nebraska, neither of those duels were my favorite of the year. In fact, I'd probably say that NC State versus Virginia Tech was my favorite dual meet environment this entire season. It was so energetic in Reynolds Coliseum, and it was so fun to be there. But apparently the fans disagreed because Penn State versus Iowa was the #1 dual meet of the year. You may not be surprised by this because it was such a blast. Hildebrand, RBY, and Nick Lee started out the duel strong, but the Iowa Hawkeyes fought back with Max Murin, Caleb Young, and Alex Marinelli each earning wins. The marquee match in this duel was Starachi and Kemmerer, which also went to overtime just like that Mekhi Lewis match. Brooks won, then Max Dean clinched the dual meet with a victory, but the final match between Kirkfleet and Cassiope went in favor of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Penn State won the dual meet 19-13. If you were watching it, you know it was fun. Both KO and Brands had great dual meet seasons, but who ended up being the coach of the year? Let's go through the nominees. The first is the Big Ten coach, Sean Bourmet of Michigan, who in the 100th season of the Michigan wrestling program just really stunned everybody. In the postseason, they won the Big Ten title and ended up finishing second at Nationals with a national champion in Nick Suriano. Chris Pendleton of Oregon State and Matt Storniolo of Northwestern also put together solid NCAA tournaments. Zeke Jones of Arizona State earned another podium finish for the Sun Devils, but the fans voted Cale Sanderson as coach of the year, putting 5 guys into the finals, winning all of those matches, having a phenomenal undefeated dual meet season, and winning the NCAA team title. And that moves us from an outstanding coach to the outstanding wrestler of the year. And this could have been awarded to 8 different guys who had undefeated seasons winning national titles. Carter Starachi earned 7% of the vote, Keegan O'Toole earned 12%, Yanni D earned 19%, and the winner earned 43% of the vote. That, of course, goes to Olympic champion and 2-time NCAA champion Gable Steveson, who earned a 78% bonus point percentage this season. He truly dominated his way to the second title, finally leaving it all out there on the mat, including his shoes, showing that he is retired and done with the sport, but it was an honor to watch him. Now, before we get to our special tribute in our Honorable Career Achievement Award, we have a few quick fun awards to give out. These were suggested by Fanco wrestling fans. And the first award is Best Celebration, which could have went to Gable for his backflip, Ridge Lovett for his heart hand, but I'm giving it out to the Hidley Bros, who raised the roof after their victories, and I've never seen fan interaction like that. Best Mustache Award has to go to Pat Brucky. Although it wasn't as sweet as mine was a couple years ago, if you were there, you remember, it still was a sweet stash. And for hair that wasn't on the lip but on top of the head, we're giving out Best Hair to Cam Caffey of Michigan State. Best Post-Match Interview is going to 2 guys. The first is Hayden Hidley for showing his true character in this interview.
I wanted to see Trent win more than I want to see myself win. I would take 100 losses just so he could win.
And the second, of course, has to go to Yanni D for having some nuts on national TV.
How do you change that?
Have some nuts.
The Backside Warrior Award goes to wrestlers who showed their true grit through the consolation rounds at NCAAs. I'm giving this out to 2 wrestlers. The first is Pat McKee of Minnesota, who lost in the first round, then battled his way back for 5th place. And the second guy I'm giving this to is David Carr. He showed a lot of heart by losing in the second round, but then coming back to win 6 straight matches to take 3rd place at 157 pounds. Next is the Fought Till the End Award, which is given to a wrestler who quite literally fought until the end. Jaden Ironman was basically crawling off the mat. His knee was in so much pain, but he fought until the bitter end in his final match against Stefan Micic. And another award I'm giving out to an Iowa Hawkeye is the True Warrior Award to Austin DeSanto. Although he got hosed with a number 5 seed, lost to RBY again this year, he went down to the consolations and still fought back for a 3rd place finish the 2nd year in a row. And you could really tell after his match against RBY, he was heartbroken. It was devastating for him. He puts his all out on the mat every time he steps out there, and that's why he is a true warrior. And he's one of those seniors that gave it his all. Maybe he didn't finish where he wanted to, just like so many other seniors that came back this year. But I'll tell you what, it was entertaining watching them, and I know that they gave it their all. So enjoy this quick little tribute I put together just for the seniors. One more time, thank you, seniors, for entertaining all of us wrestling fans. Now let's move on to the Career Achievement Award. This is given out to a wrestler who has a great body of work, but everything finally comes together for him in the end. This year, I'm giving it out to a wrestler who finished round of 16 as a freshman, went on to finish 6th as a sophomore, then had the tournament pulled away from him in 2020 when he was the number 1 seed. Last year, he finished in 3rd place, but he decided to use his extra year, his last year of eligibility, to compete. This is Northwestern's Ryan Deacon, who finally won a national title in his senior year. Deacon's not very flashy. He doesn't get much praise or attention because he's not out in the media a lot. He's probably not going to be remembered as much as other guys because he's not a loudmouth. He has to have some of the most character out of any wrestler here and is definitely the most humble guy in the entire field. I'm proud that his hard work finally paid off. And if you've made it to this point in the video, use keyword Deacon somewhere in your comments if you agree with my take. I put the Fanco Wrestling Awards show together this week just for you. And after a long, tiring, but definitely exciting season and NCAA tournament, I'm going to take some time off and relax. This is the end of the season, and I just wanted to say one more time, thank you for being a part of the ride.
Thank you.